Part of the assignment you've already completed the values in the sphere. Now we're moving on to grabbing a stock photo fruit image and then tracing and painting it in PIXLR. So you're going to use some cut and paste tools, you're going to use some drawing brushes and regular paint brushes. I've opened up PIXLR in the browser. I'm going to go ahead and open the new document, calling it Fruit Paint. Actually best to do it lowercase with underscore to separate. The default setting is fine. Press create. Okay, I only need one. So what we get here is just a layer, a blank layer. It's transparent, nothing is there. So this is the document, our main document that we're going to be working from. But we're going to need to get some source imagery. So you need to go back to home, pressing this home key, and then look to stock search. Okay, so this will pull up imagery that you can kind of put to the side of your main document. And here you can search for the fruit that you are interested in painting. I was using cherries in one demo, and I will use it in this one as well. And really what I want you to look for when you pick the source imagery is not huge clusters, not something like this, that's way too complicated, but maybe a couple of them. Some leaves would be great as well. So again, you just kind of search through, see what looks the best. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead with this one. It doesn't have leaves, but the stems are fine. I'm going to go ahead and open that up. It's going to ask me which size I wanted. We can go ahead and do web because we're just going to kind of copy and paste it. If it's really large, it's going to make your program slow. Okay. And so this is the image. We didn't need high resolution technically because of the fact that we're going to be tracing over it. Okay, now you can see it's in a different tab. So this is my imported image. This is my main document. I want to get this image to this document so that I can work on top of it. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to go ahead and use now the selection tool. So right next, this is the arrow tool for moving, placing, arranging. This is the Marquee Select. So what you can do is take portions of the image and then you'll get this marching ant, we like to call it. And from there, you can go ahead and you can copy and paste whatever is inside of the marching ant. Okay, now one thing with the open source is once you use a tool, the pop-up ads come and things like this, and that's just part of the program being free. This is not exactly where I want the selection, so I'm going to go ahead and deselect it and reselect it again to kind of get a better drag. Okay, there we go. And then I can do two things. I can do a keyboard shortcut, so I can go here, or I can go to the menu and I can do copy and paste, or the keyboard shortcut, which is Control-C and Control-V. Okay, that's what I prefer to do. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do now. So Command-C or Control-C, and it says copy. It says that I copied it, see? And then move over here and do Command or Control-V. And there we go. We have pasted it. So this is the image that I'm going to work from. It's very small on the page, so I'm actually going to want to resize it so I can trace over it a little bit easier. So now I'm going to go back to the arrange arrow, and as you can see, I get little dots here, so I can actually stretch this out and move it around. Okay, and make it a nice big size so it's easier to see when I do my tracing. Okay. Layer 1, I'm just not gonna do anything with that yet. I'm just gonna leave it as a transparency for now. It's good to have handy underneath. This I'm gonna actually rename to photo so that I understand what that layer is. Okay, press that. And then now I'm gonna go down to the plus key in the layers panel, and I'm gonna create another image. That's the first box here. So that's empty. a layer. I'm creating another layer right now. Again, see, so layer 1, the photo, layer 3. And what I'm going to call this is tracing. Again, press on the ellipses. Sorry, it's taking a minute. Call that tracing. There we go. And from here, I want to go find some brushes or a pen or something along those lines. It's all around here in the toolbar. And I want to see it says draw, color replace, pen, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and maybe I'll grab a pen today. You can even do a brush and use it like a pencil, but today I'm gonna go ahead and use a pen. I can look at the variant for that, and it can be furry, crayon, ink, shaded, plain. I'm gonna do crayon, see if that's fun. Keep it in a small size or kind of, small variable size. And one other thing I want to do too is I want to go to the photo and I want to take down the transparency here so that when I'm looking at this image, I can see my lines with the image. If there's too much of the image, it's hard to see your lines sometimes. Okay, so on the tracing layer, make sure that you're on there. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try my crayon. Oh, the last thing too is I want to make sure that my color down here is some sort of graphite kind of color, like you would use a pencil. So I have kind of a dark gray. You can see it down here, and I'm going to go ahead and use that. And then I'm going to go ahead and I can zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to start tracing my object. I want to trace not just the outside, but I want to trace the areas inside, like the highlights. I am using my stylus for this. It's kind of like a little pen thing, but you can feel free to use the mouse. If you have a stylus, you can use it. What I can do to see how my tracing is going along is I can click off the visibility. That's the arrow here. History down. And that way I can see what my tracing is. It doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, you can adjust a lot when you paint. Again, these are open source programs, so sometimes there's a lot of lag. Lag is when it kind of skips a little bit. And there's not much you can do about that. So you just kind of have to wait sometimes for the internet to catch up because, again, this program is connecting to the internet. If you make a mistake, like I don't like that curve, I can just do Command C and I can go ahead. As long as the stroke, if you're doing it in one fell swoop like that, okay, and that's pretty much all of it. I'm going to take this off so I can see it. Now again, against the dark transparent background, it's a little difficult to see. So the next thing I'm going to do is go to layer 1, and I'm just going to put kind of a background on here, just something plain, just a fill in here so that I can see my line work a little bit better. And I'm going to do that, it's going to be white. So I need to go back up to my marquee selection, drag that marquee all the way over the entire page, and then I need to go down to the fill bucket, which is here, press on this white color, so they just reverse, so that's the one that's in the front, and click in this area, and that will fill the entire thing. See, now it's easier to see if I have a little gap in my line or something like that. To stop those marching ants around, you say deselect. Again, to zoom in and out, that's here, or Command plus and minus on the keyboard, or Control plus and minus. So however you want to do that. Do kind of like this crayon tool. I'm going to stick with that. Again, I'm going to go back up to my tracing and just back up to my tracing, and I'm going to kind of smooth out some of these lines because I can see it a little better now. Again, I have to switch my color, so I accidentally used white. Switch back to my pen, my crayon too. So off the fill, switch the color, Okay, and then I'm just kind of filling in where I saw some of those things. Okay, that is step one. I'm gonna stop here, and so the video is not too long, and then I'm gonna move to, there will be a second video where I paint the fruit.